Okay, so here's something nobody talks about, and it's so freaking important. Everybody, of course, I've mentioned before all the time that far more important than your camera and lens is lighting. Oh yes, and right underneath that is lighting control. Even lighting control is above camera and lens. Well, first comes your mind, obviously, the composition you dream up in your head, then lighting control, and then lens or camera, whichever one comes first, doesn't make any difference. Negative fill. What's negative fill? You know, my screen name here on YouTube is Theodiapophasis, which is ancient Greek reference to negative dialectic synthesis, or technically speaking, apophatic synthesis. Via negativa means removing, okay? Negation. It's actually not complicated at all. I'm going to post a video link below. There's a great little video online that talks about it, you know, why go into trying to recreate negative fill. You know why a lot of these circular reflectors over here, why they actually have a black? It's like, well, it's got a silver side, you know, the six-way reflectors. I bet I wonder if you have always wonders, like, why is there a black on this? You know, why? It's for negative fill. It's like, well, I know what the silver is for, I know what the white's for, I know what the gold is for, I know what the translucent screen is for. Well, what about the black? You know, that's very good for doing, you know, reflecting light. It's not made for that. Negative fill. Most important thing in photography, lighting control, negative fill. One thing I see a lot of these people doing out there, they'll like take an image of so-and-so up against something, and they'll get this. The lighting will be fine on the part they illuminate, but the shadows and the diffuse part, oh my god, they look bad. Negative fill. First you need to add the light, then you need to subtract it as necessary. What are the reasons for subtracting light? Give contrast definition, remove negative coloration in your diffuse or your midtones, and specifically your shadows. Okay, not all shadows are black. We're talking about the shadow area where there's still illumination. You know, if Sally Sue's perfectly illuminated over here, but this side of her face is orange because of that peach-colored wall over there, that's a problem. Stick up a flag, a black flag, or like one of the black sections. I use scrims and my own scrims, and use these pop-up reflectors over here with the blacks. I've actually got one that's just black on one side and silver on the other. Some really large ones. Stick up a negative flag over here, okay? I got a main illumination over here. I've set my where I want it to fall with correct lighting control. Negative fill. It makes all the difference in the world. If you click the video below, he'll show you. He's actually showing you with video, but there's no difference in negative fill between video and regular photography. He will show you some of this chick. I just found a random video on negative fill. Some random stuff of with negative fill and without negative fill, or adding negative fill and then reintroducing some light, like using a white sheet of paper or some cardstock to add something in the shadow area for contrast definition, because everything is about lighting. There's also some books. Everybody, not specifically on negative fill, however, they do mention negative fill. Everybody keeps asking me over and over again on book recommendations. One of them is called Capturing Light by Michael Freeman. 3 of the 4 of these books are by Michael Freeman. I strongly suggest you buy that. It's about looking at the different types of lighting and recognizing them. So it's called Capturing Light, The Heart of Photography by Michael Freeman. Another one is Michael Freeman, 101 Top Tips. Michael Freeman's Perfect Exposure. And a 4th one is, this one is by Dustin Diaz. It's called This is Strobist Information. This is Strobist Info. He goes over a lot of different lighting setups for particular scenes. He'll show you what the scene looks like. He shows you where he placed the main light, the fill light, the background light as necessary for each particular shooting composition. But negative fill is incredibly important, and I don't see anybody talking about it. I don't see anybody using it on YouTube. I don't. Have you seen anybody making? I'm sure there is 1 or 2 out there. Negative fill is incredibly important. You know, go down to your fabric store, all right? Buy yourself some light absorber, not any reflective black, but the blackest black that you could find, okay? Use that for your negative fill. Build a PVC scrim if you need be, or buy a pop-up a reflector. And negative fill is incredibly important for product photography, for corporate, very, very important for portraiture. It is insanely important for online location portraiture. Negative fill is vital. Just do a Google search if you want. Just type in like negative fill photography. It'll show you with, without instances of negative fill. Why does nobody talk about negative fill? Most people don't even know what it is. They all know about adding light. Well, most people don't even know about adding light, actually. And controlling light, types of light modifiers for controlling light, because you could drop a lot of light on a scene. I see a lot of photographers, they got two studio strobes right here. They take a shot, they go like to a convention or something. Boom! It's like, wow, it's all perfectly lit. There's no definition. There's no difference between the specular and the diffuse. It's all just, wow! Just washed it with lighting. Wow! Just a crap load of lighting. Well, you know, yeah, it's properly exposed and everything. I even used the light meter. Yeah, click. Yeah, but you gave no definition of the subject. There's no depth there. There's nothing to be seen there. There's no there. You know, sometimes that's good if someone like has a really long nose, or you don't want to give detriment. Accentuate the positive, eliminate out the negative. Negative fill is incredibly important. Very, very important. And why nobody's talking about it, I have no idea. And it's not that hard to comprehend. First thing you need to do is add light. Second thing you need to do is control that light. But you not only need to control the light from the light source, you need to control the key thing which negative fill is about, and that word is spill. Spill. Negative fill is like the sponge that soaks up the unwanted crowd. Here's a really easy way to understand. What's negative fill? It's like, well, negative fill in photography composition is using a luminal sponge, i.e. black, to suck up all the unwanted spillover. It's kind of like, you know, they have baby mugs. This would be negative fill, is control the spillover. You know, it's like you got this thing in your car that's sloshing everywhere and shit's spilling out. It's like, here's the negative fill. I'm going to keep that crap from spilling over. So I'm going to keep all the light from spilling over that's hitting the peach wall over here and reflecting back. It's like, you know, she's the chick you shot is perfectly illuminated. And I've seen a lot of pictures people do this stuff. It's like, well, it's perfectly illuminated over here. This side of her face is miscolored. It's like, well, I can white balance for this, but I can't white balance for this and for this too. Photoshop! Instead of Photoshop, how about dropping in some negative fill to control the spill? It not only controls the spill, its primary reason is actually control definition. Okay, because when you have a lot of, say the room is perfectly painted neutral gray or 18% gray. Okay, so there's no coloration issue, which there often is, especially on location, you know? You don't want some sort of freaky-deaky light pouring back in the shadows on someone's face. You know, correcting for that is nearly impossible. Negative fill is insanely vital. Vital. Lighting control, then subtracting lighting. So once you've added the lighting with lighting control, then you need to start subtracting it. And that's what people don't do. It's like, I'm going to pop her with some light and it's going to be properly exposed. I looked at the histogram on the back of my camera, which was not good enough. But, you know, there's no blown highlights. That's still not good enough. What about negative fill? What about giving definition to the person's face? Removing the discoloration? You know, you got freaky water droplets on this rock over here that your model is leaning against, and it's dropping all these specular highlights in the shadow area. That's distracting. We don't want that. Negative fill is to control the definition and contrast to your subject, but it also controls spill. Negative fill serves three purposes, and it's very important, and nobody's talking about it for some unknown reason. Actually, it's not unknown reason, it's just sheer ignorance is what it is. So, please do some research on negative fill. Look at some test shot examples. I've been sick yesterday. My time is limited. The important thing that you know about it and recognize it, because everything is about lighting. You know, it's like, well, I can control the illumination of my subject. It's like, not only that, you can control the shadows of your subject too. What do you mean control the shadows? Well, the definition that shadows give to your subject is not just about flooding your subject with light. Once you control the highlights, the lighting, the specular, and you control the shadows, and you control everything. If you're only controlling the lighting of your subject, meaning the addition of light, you're only controlling part of it. Well, I control the white balance, I control the exposure, and I control the lighting. What about controlling the shadows? I never thought about that. You're right, you never thought about that. Why not? Because I wasn't thinking. Well, why weren't you thinking? Because I thought photography was all about light. No, photography is also all about contrast, definition, and shadows! You ever heard the saying, the subject defines the object? A lot of things contribute to the depth and definition of a subject, and shadows are very, very, very important. Contrast and the definition of the subject. Thank you for watching so much. Catch you later. Hasta luego. Bye.